U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
More than a year of brutal war in Sudan between Sudan's army and a rebel paramilitary force has killed tens of thousands of people and forced more than 8 million to flee their homes. Some 5 million are now at risk of starvation. As Nick Schifrin reports, there is new evidence of ethnic cleansing. Nick?
That's right, Amna. This week, Human Rights Watch provided that evidence of not only ethnic cleansing, but also war crimes and crimes against humanity against the paramilitary rapid support forces in Western Sudan's Darfur. It's there that the RSF and this new war have produced the world's largest...
It'd be much easier if you just called them the Janjaweed.
Well, they're not just Janjaweed anymore.
Now
it's Janjaweed.
They've merged.
No, it's like how Al-qeada in Iraq merged with 6 other groups to form the Mujahideen Sharia Council. Mm-hmm. Which was like just Daesh at the time. Then that immediately went to shit because they were like, these are our leaders, and then the U.S. killed those people. It's like it's mostly Janjaweed.
Hundreds of thousands still at risk.
I'll be back in a second.
Darfur's El Janina, they lived to tell the tale of what happened here, of history being repeated.
History being repeated.
Beginning last summer, local activists bore witness to what Human Rights Watch and the U.S. government label ethnic cleansing. They recorded how their city of 500,000 was burned, where there used to be homes and schools that became shelters for the displaced. There is now only ash.
The targets were members of the Masalit tribe, many women and children who suffered looting.
That's literally human remains. That's cool.
Violence unleashed by the paramilitary rapid support forces, or RSF, and other Arab militias.
The RSF descends from government-backed Janjaweed militias.
There you go.
Thousands brutally crushed an uprising and killed hundreds of thousands of non-Arab. The U.S. labeled it genocide.
What the fuck?
These 2020
I called it. No, because they said history being repeated. I said when they said history being repeated, I said they're going to say they're the Janjaweed.
Yeah.
But also they said other Arab militia, and that's why I say they still incorporate those Arab militias under the RSF banner.
Yeah. Like how fucking good is PBS though? Like realistically, we're looking at it as like an objective. You want a story. What you're being told is factual. Nothing you're really being misled. I think PBS is probably pretty fucking up there, honestly.
Frontline is also like one of the best shows ever made for news. Frontline is awesome.
Honestly, every single time we watch something from PBS that's covering a very complicated...
You should watch the PBS Putin Files.
They almost always fucking nail it.
The Putin Files is it's like an entire series of interviews with all the people in the state apparatus of the United States, right? And it's like... It's like a multi-hour thing.
Okay.
There's a lot of it.
Interesting. That does sound... What's it called? The Putin Files.
Yeah. And it's just talking head interviews with all these people. But it's done very well. It flows together very well.
Okay. By the NewsHour last summer, are part of a new Human Rights Watch report released this week. The Masalit will not come home.
Tens of thousands of them have been forced to flee and are now refugees who fill camps in neighboring Chad. Human Rights Watch says this is what the RSF's violence was designed to do, drive them from their homes permanently.
For the past year, the people of Sudan have suffered slaughter, crimes against humanity, sexual violence, ethnic cleansing at the hands of the rapid response forces.
Tom Perriello is the U.S. Special Envoy for Sudan.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you
new RSF
how many fucking hours there is of this series. Like its own series that they kept producing.
Did you know that he got the name of the RSF
and its leadership are rooted in the Janjaweed.
What did he say?
Genocide 20 years ago when I first went to Darfur.
You missed
in particular, if we see the fall of...
I was too busy looking at how many Putin Files episodes there are.
A new RSF assault on El Fasher, home to Sudan's largest camp for the displaced. Doctors Without Borders says some 15,000 children there are suffering from acute malnutrition.
The RSF and
refugees
reported by the NewsHour last summer are part of a new Human Rights Watch report released this week. The Masalit will not come home.
Tens of thousands of them have been forced to flee and are now refugees who fill camps in neighboring Chad. Human Rights Watch says this is what the RSF's violence was designed to do, drive them from their homes permanently.
For the past year, the people of Sudan have suffered slaughter, crimes against humanity, sexual violence, ethnic cleansing at the hands of the rapid response forces.
Tom Perriello is the U.S. Special Envoy for Sudan.
I think you can actually call them that as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but also they call them because they're a quick reaction force. but I think I have heard somebody call them that as well.
Okay, it just stuck out to me because I haven't heard them called that before. That's all. Okay, that's clarification. That's all we needed.
Now warning of a new RSF assault.
That's fine.
I don't know. It still is wrong. Great.
I would say it's wrong as well.
Because the thing is, so if you type in rapid response forces on its own, it comes up with rapid reaction force, rapid response force, quick reaction force, quick response force, immediate reaction force, rapid deployment force, or quick maneuver force is a military or police unit capable of responding to emergencies in a very short time frame. Okay. And if you're referring to them as that being what the type of unit they are,
sure, then you're technically correct.
Yeah, but no, I agree. He was wrong.
Okay.
On El Fasher, home to Sudan's largest camp for the displaced. Doctors Without Borders says some 15,000 children there are suffering from acute malnutrition.
The RSF and its leadership are rooted in the Janjaweed militias who committed genocide 20 years ago when I first went to Darfur. And in particular, if we see the fall of El Fasher, we will see a new level of suffering for this war.
The other side of this civil war, which has turned residential streets into battlegrounds, is the Sudanese Armed Forces, or SAF.
Dude, there's so much PBS Putin stuff. Because that's just what the Putin files is just like the start of it, right? Then they have Putin and the presidents, and they got John Bolton on here. Like, there's so much PBS propaganda on why Putin is bad.
Since early April, ahead of what she called looming famine. To discuss the situation in Darfur and Human Rights Watch's new report, I'm joined by Tarana Hassan, Human Rights Watch's executive director. Tarana Hassan, thank you very much. Welcome to the NewsHour. You guys collected 221 witness statements from the worst hit parts of Darfur.
What's interesting, I think the most interesting thing about Sudan
and documented grueling testimony
is specifically the first military crackdown that the military uses against protesters by sending the rapid support forces against them.
As you noted in your report,
it's like
was that
extremely documented because it happened in this period of time. You know how people are the idiots, like I don't know what tea they're drinking, where they're like, how come there's no footage of this Ukraine war, you know? But it's like, but like people are blown away. It's like, wow, you know, Ukraine war is the first war in HD, the first war that's being fought online. And it's like, no, it's not. So like the Sudan crackdown came in this period when like we were pioneering the open source like journalist network, and they like I don't know who, I think it's BBC, and it's like the live stream massacre or something, but they literally take like hundreds of sources of like cell phone cameras and all that stuff, and they compose like a timeline of events of like the massacres and genocide that takes place when this army crackdown happened. You know, and like and these guys, the rapid support forces, they're posting this shit. They're posting their war crimes and shit. It's extremely online. They're posting through it. Like they have guys in Qatar and doing their fucking stuff, you know. Then they have guys in Doha doing negotiations. Like it's crazy how online it is. People just don't care because it's Africa.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Is taking place. The violence and the targeted killings and attacks on the Masalit and other non-Arab communities shows all the hallmarks of ethnic cleansing. But we have also documented war crimes and crimes against humanity that have been committed by the rapid support forces, as well as
nothing to say here, YouTube.
Militia across.
Definitely nothing to say here.
They're just camels.
So you know this campaign has been absolutely brutal. Our researchers have been on the ground and speaking to people inside Sudan for the last 10 months, and we have documented a comprehensive account of the large-scale atrocities that have taken place. We are talking about you know, houses and entire neighborhoods burnt to the ground.
This is not
we have documented
subject to joke about
people that have been killed, but we really don't know what the true death toll is. It could be much larger. And as you noted earlier, 500,000 people are now driven from Darfur into Chad, you know, by the violence. And even
how much? 500,000?
They told us that they were continued to be hunted down, targeted, and attacked, women raped on the journey to safety in Chad.
As I noted, the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, descends from the Janjaweed militias, which in the 2000s were accused of genocide. Do you believe, does Human Rights Watch believe that it's possible that
and remember, I just want to point out, from the start of our reporting, I said that people will come around because the genocide was going to be, but That's not important. The important part is from the start. I said
Sudan.
There's no way to tell this story without acknowledging that the RSF is the Janjaweed, because it culminates from that genocide that did not get prosecuted. So that's why we are so critical on nobody recognizing it at first. But now the worst has happened. They literally said in the start of this package, he said, where history is repeating itself. Literally, the same people who did genocide here before are back again doing a second genocide. And nothing is being done about it. And the first one was sponsored by fucking oil companies, right?
And we were, what, a year ahead of it?
Oh, no, this one. Well, I remember we're looking, if you look at a Christopher Hitchens thing when we were making fun of Hitchens, we actually bring the RSF up there. Ace is like, they call it like Rapid Response Forces or something, because they talk, James brings up the Janjaweed in that video. And it's probably the first time we mentioned them.
Interesting.
And like, I was like, what the fuck? Where have I heard that before? And it's only like after, when I was editing, I was like, oh shit.
Interesting. Yeah, this is
the only thing that they can do better is connecting them to Gaddafi. That's the only like thing they could additionally add at this point. They've pretty much hit every angle that you need to.
Yeah.
Happening again.
What we have been able to conclude from our current research is that there are most definitely war crimes and crimes against humanity have been committed. We also believe that there is the possibility that some of the acts that we have documented were genocidal in nature. And what that really means is there needs to be an investigation and a collection of evidence so that the international court
Darfur before it was so disconnected from the world, like you literally couldn't get there, right? Journalists literally, it was like Gaza. Journalists couldn't get in. You would have to literally like go across the border. You would have to like sneak into the country to cover Darfur. Go look up, see if you can find documentaries of journalists going there when the war is going on. I guarantee you, they all start with, we stuck into the country over the border. So like now there's actual like forensic evidence that they've posted themselves. There's so much more evidence.
Interesting.
And it's not like anyone denies that the genocide happened before.
Are they denying it now?
No. Oh, no? Are they that they're doing genocide now? Probably. They're probably saying, nope, we're not. It's the other guys.
It's both sides. Gather evidence to be able to see if the crime of genocide has taken place.
It has.
This isn't just, though, about if it has taken place. We are now at a point where these same forces, the Rapid Support Forces and their allied militias, are currently surrounding the town of Al-Fasher. So we should be talking also about genocide prevention. We know where we are on the cusp of mass atrocities if the international community doesn't start to mobilize to ensure that there is some sort of force, some sort of mechanism to ensure that there is civilian protection. What we have seen in El Janina is a very grim snapshot about, and indicates what could happen and the atrocities that could unfold in Al-Fasher in the coming days or weeks.
You just said some kind of mechanism. What does the international community need to do? What does the United States need to do to try and help prevent
UN peacekeepers
further
need to be
atrocities,
there
especially
yesterday.
Al-Fasher, which, as we noted, is the location
of
the largest collection of internally displaced.
Been looked at very favorably.
That's right. I mean, the population of Al-Fasher is approximately 1.5 million people, if not more. So the level of urgency that we need to see from the United Nations.
What was Kharkiv? 8 million?
Is that they should urgently deploy a mission to Sudan to protect civilians, and they should start in locations where the most are at risk of these deliberate attacks. But on top of that, we need to track back and look at where are the weapons coming from. So there are arms embargoes already, but we know that they are in place for Darfur. They need to be expanded to all of Sudan, because outside of the Darfur region, we also know that there are possible war.
So what happened to Kenya's peacekeepers that were going to go to Haiti? Well, I mean, the government fell. So. And also, Kenya going into Darfur is a little dicey.
Yeah.
Violence and the Rapid Support Forces committing these atrocities town after town.
Kenya has business interest with the oil in South Sudan. Because they border South Sudan, of course. So like here, wow, it took me, I just had to type in Kenya, Sudan, and I got a picture of it. So
kids and
like when we talk about Belt and Road and American infrastructure investment, this has long been kind of like a plan. I constantly say that like this region is a future economic region. Like if the planet can hold together with climate change and stuff, and like South Sudan is in such dire need of economic and infrastructure investments that this would be like so good for the region. But like this is a very hostile region with Darfur being right over here, and then you have like the DRC insurgencies along this border. Then you, like Joseph Kony's in here, and like I think he's over in DRC. You know, he was like upper Uganda, and then like Rwanda's like right down here.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?